machine jolted hard and rolled, throwing them all clear. Gray tumbled across the ice, losing his weapon, hugging his limbs in tight. He finally came to a stop. The Ski-Doo took another few bounces, then came to a rest. The other two men rose from the ice. Kowalski patted himself, as if confirming he was still alive. Didn't exactly stick that landing. Barstow joined them, cradling one arm, his face bloody. He glanced over to the broken bulk of the Ski-Doo. As they say, in a landing you can walk away from. They were talking about airplanes, Kowalski admonished, not friggin' snowmobiles. The pilot shrugged his good shoulder. They were flying there for a bit. That still counts. Gray ignored them and searched the skies. He watched a small cluster of lights fall out of the darkness, disappearing beyond the edge of the cliff as the broken-off corner of the brunt shelf slid into the sea. He wasn't positive he had damaged the Twin Otter enough to make it crash. The plane was merely limping away. Either way, the enemy could have radioed for additional support. Gray didn't want to stick around to find out. He turned to the Ski-Doo. Barstow must have read his expression. Sorry, mate. Just tits up. Looks like we'll be walking from here. Gray pulled up the hood of his parka, already cold. Kowalski voiced the question foremost in his own mind. How the hell do we go from here? 4:18 p.m. It's gone. All gone. Jason heard the despair in the station commander's voice, or rather, former station commander. He and Karen stood atop a hillock of ice. It was tall enough for them to see beyond the patches of cold fog all the way to the coast. The shattered section of the shelf's edge remained misty, but there was no mistaking a feature missing from that distant landscape. The Halley 6 research station was gone. Those earlier blasts still filled Jason's head. While fleeing aboard one of the Ski-Doos, he had watched that coastline shatter away amid flashes of fire and concussive blasts. The shock wave of those detonations had traveled through the ice to his position a kilometer away. It had taken another few agonizing minutes to find a high enough vantage to get a good look at the outcome. Now they knew. All gone. Karen took a deep breath, shaking off her initial shock. We should keep going, she warned, eyeing the thick polar fog. The temperature seemed to be dropping tens of degrees every minute. Or maybe it's hypothermia already settling in, Jason thought. 30 yards off, their lone snowcat idled among the cluster of snowmobiles. They had rescued a dozen members of the station, but how long could they stay out here? Caught unprepared, most were poorly dressed for these frigid temperatures, and the group of snow machines would only get them so far in their single tanks of gas. Even the heater on the snowcat wasn't working. It was why the vehicle had not been in use at the time of the attack. We need to find shelter, Karen said, but we're still hundreds of miles from any base or camp. Our best chance is to stay here. Hope someone heard those explosions and comes looking. But it could take days. How long can we last out here on our own?